Um, Nintendo is now surpassed 122 million units sold and becomes the third best-selling console of all time. As Nintendo noted, the incoming launch of Tears of the Kingdom will also likely cause a spike in sales, even despite the $10 price increase, which we will talk about later on when we talk about that game. And then I have some other follow-ups with that news. So what people don't know, that the number one best-selling console of all time is still held with PlayStation 2, sitting at 155 million copies, if I am correct, followed by Nintendo DS. I think just DS. I don't think they're adding 3DS to the mix. I think it's just DS.
3DS is totally different SKU.
Is DS, and that's also including probably DS Lite. All variations of DS is added into this equation of that. And that's sitting on, I want to say, I don't know if you have to chart up, but I think it's sitting on like 140, 130 or something like that.
It's sitting 154 million.
154. So like right under PlayStation.
Yep.
And we are now sitting with Nintendo Switch that is going on their 7th year. Granted, PlayStation has been out for 10 years for when they finally shut down with that price. We'll ask the question in a moment about that. But this is the 7th year for the Switch going in, as we just got the direct to see what's coming for this year. So let's go to the first question I want to ask you before I move on to the other part of the part two of this news is, do we see the Switch going further than we expect it to go, or do we see them kind of slowly working on the new console to release? Do we see 3 more years? Because I don't think they're going to make it to PS2. I don't think they're going to make it to 150. I think number 3 is probably going to be for now, unless they're going to go for another year. I know that, in my opinion, that the Zelda is going to spark sales, and I think that's going to be the make it or break it of where we're going to see where it stands. As it's coming out for the summer, and then it will probably make a lot of money through the rest of the year. It will make a lot of money in the summer. It will make a lot of money in the holidays. We know that for a fact.
And it's been leaked. The OLED Zelda variant Switch OLED has been leaked, and I need another finish, so I'm getting that. So yes, it will move systems. But
the question I'm asking you is, with that in mind, do we see Nintendo continuing the Switch after this year, continuing the next year, or do we see an 8, a 9 before a new one, or do you think that this is probably going to be the last year before we start hearing news of a new console and getting ready to launch that?
We're probably going. Okay, so as a point of correction, this year is the Switch's 6th year.
I apologize.
Yeah.
So do we see them coming for a 7th year? Then I'll rephrase that.
I think, considering that it takes multiple years to develop a game, and Nintendo has a lot of rabbits under their hat, I think they're already working on the next step or the next stage. But with many things, they keep it close to the chest, very close. I think we're going to get probably at least 8 years out of the Switch. And I think total sales units before they just end production, I think total sales units are going to pause just shy of 150 million.
So you think they're still going to be number 3 overall? You think? Yes. So you don't think they're going to pass it? Okay.
I don't think so. I mean, PlayStation 2 came out in year 2000. 23 years ago, and nothing has surpassed it in units sold.
No, I absolutely understand that.
So I think the Switch is going to come close. Like,
but we're talking about the DS though, right? Like the DS is the one that has to be at
number 2.
Yeah, it has to. Do you don't think it'll surpass that? You think?
I don't think it'll surpass it. I think it'll come very close.
Okay,
but it won't surpass it. We will get to the point that in 10 more years, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting a Switch in the Goodwill or in a pawn shop or whatever. They'll be all over the place, especially if they don't do good support on the battery life. But that's just my opinion.
I think I want to agree with you, but I want to agree with you, but I want to challenge you to this. So I think it'll be more fun this way.
I make compelling evidence.
No. I think it might have a good chance to go for a 7th year. hearing a new announcement with a new console, as we might get that transition like almost every Zelda. I'm not minus Tears of the Kingdom. We're talking about another game that will have that trap between a new console and an old console, kind of thing. I think people will still buy. Yeah,
Switch.
Yeah, and I think that maybe with the Switch price cuttings when the new one comes out, could pick up some sales. With new game releases, I think there'll be some scraps coming in. Just some small games coming back in. That's in-house from Nintendo. Just Dance, or some small games from Nintendo, kind of like Advance Wars, kind of like those small B tiers games that, they just throw them up there, their eShop or anything like that. Because, releasing, for the news that we'll talk about with the expansion of what's being added to the expansion online, I mean, it's pretty late in the game. So it's going to be interesting how that transitions to that and whatnot.
True.
But I think it will stay at number 3. Definitely. I think we're at 22. I think it might stop at 140. I'm going to challenge you. Say it will stop at like 140.
You think 140?
Yeah, I think the tiers will bring it to the 40. I think that will definitely do that.
That's a plausible approach. Yeah.
Because we still don't know what's coming out for the fall yet. Even though, what could be a fall game? Is Metroid 4? No, I don't think Metroid 4 is going to be a fall game. I think now I am a believer that it will be the next gen game. I think it needs to be.
The fact that Nintendo is still the master of shadow drops and surprises, I don't know. I mean,
okay.
I know we'll get into the details later, but from things I saw, anything's possible for the latter half of this year. Mm-hmm. Anything's possible.
Okay.